The man, the myth, the legend, Steve Maxwell, fresh off the Joe Rogan Experience, comes to New York. We get together, it's freezing out. We push, believe, talk about philosophy, life, kids, and we do a hell of a workout. Enjoy it.
They were asking him to assassinate people.
Start spreading the news.
They're ragged for selling shit.
This is our sponsor, Steve.
Be a part of it. New York, New York.
Elliot Gracie must have did something pretty remarkable because all his kids ended up being these amazing jiu-jitsu practitioners.
Yeah.
Treniram Steve'a Maxwellom.
If you think that's easy, just ask your dad to do that at home. What are you doing? I mean, we are on this earth a very short time. I look at it as a transitional point, or like a stop off.
You're saying that it has a higher amount of energy, right?
An incredible energy. Not only that, but I love big cities because I love to walk. And I find rural areas or countries or small town, man, you get lazy, you don't feel like walking. I use one of these little Fitbit things. It measures my steps, calories, how many stairs I climb. And man, I've been averaging about 12 kilometers and 20,000 steps a day since I've been here. It's so easy just to get out and walk. And the other thing I like about New York, but other cities too, but if you can't eat well in New York, you just can't eat.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you just don't know how to feed
literally,
yourself.
yeah.
I mean, the food is fantastic. I mean, I'm talking about healthy selections. I'm not talking about like pizza and all this crap or Subway or whatever. But I mean, your opportunity for eating really good, healthy food is tremendous. They got like a juice press and they got a corner. They have like a million Whole Foods all over the place. So there's absolutely no excuse for not feeding yourself and eating well when you're here.
Well, let me take you back though into the psychology of the New Yorkers, because then fitness has the overtrainer, the person that trains too much. New York is psychologically working themselves into a situation where they're so stressed out, they're just looking for bad things after 12 hours. It's just not.
Eating as a balm.
You just feel so bad. You just feel so bad that you're just going out, and that many of my clients, they're just, because if you don't push yourself, if you're not working like a lunatic, you're a complete loser in a lot of circles here.
When you say working, are you talking about training as in physical work?
No, putting hours at a desk, trying to bring in income.
Awesome.
You got this one?
Get straight. I've been using this park over here, but in all the parks they have these signs, Yeah, no adults in the playground without being in the company of a child. So that's why I brought my tail on. Brought my son.
We're just hanging out with monkey bars.
Yeah, no, I've been doing pull-ups over here, and I was skipping rope, right? Okay, I'm a 62-year-old guy. I mean, I'm clean shaven, I have clean clothes, and I'm skipping rope, and a woman complains to the park guard. She says, there's a dangerous man over there, and I feel unsafe. And the guy comes over and says, look, man, I don't care if you're here, but I gotta follow up on these complaints because it's my job.
Yeah.
He says, look, I says, will I be arrested if I stay? He said, oh, no. I says, well, I'd like to stay if I could. He said, well, okay. If I get another complaint, though, you're definitely going to have to go. I says, cool. And it was just insane, though, right? I mean,
distinction, is that how it is in Europe?
Hell no, man. When I was in Slovenia, every other corner they have a freaking pull-up bar, dip bars. They had a parkour with a rope, like a 10-meter rope. Now, where would you ever find that in America? My baby fell and we're gonna have to sue you. I mean, it's like,
Hey, Costa Rica, I'm assuming.
I've been to Costa Rica.
They had a parkour course, hard for that's the first time I ever was experienced, where they had extremely dangerous obstacles for the general public.
Yeah,
to play
exactly, man. Well, Slovenia, I would say it's some of the most fit people I've ever seen, man. I mean, they all look like they're fitness models.
Yeah.
It was like really amazing to me to see such a group of fine-looking young men and women, super fit, super lean. But you find that in a lot of European countries. And I mean, certainly we have some really fit people here in the United States. You have like, tremendous amount of fatties too. Unfortunately.
Fatties?
Yeah.
Well, Steve, in preparation for the interview, I figured I would hit, the fitness journal is the best in the industry. So I started, this is what I'm using. This is what most Americans.
Well, unfortunately, and if you look at what these magazines mean,
We can cross this, but.
first of all, Photoshop. Okay? Any woman seeing this magazine, right?
Yeah.
This is so unrealistic. This woman dieted for months for this photo shoot.
Okay.
Then, they take it and then they Photoshop and make the waist smaller. They enhance the definition. There's no woman on the planet that actually looks like this. And so for any young girl to look at this picture and then try to model herself like this, it's just an absolute exercise in frustration. It just sets up this whole unrealistic paradigm that just doesn't exist. And it's, and of course, if you look at this, look. Okay, they're showing all these products, right? She's not using that shit. If she is using it, she's using it along with her clenbuterol and her steroid light.
But
these guys are all drugged up, man.
I heard.
I mean, it's just a rag for selling shit.
I think.
And then you see this she. What woman in the planet wants to look like a teenage boy?
Steve, this is our sponsor, Steve.
It does have something going on.
Not anymore.
But it's just a huge source of misinformation, all geared to selling people stuff they don't need. You don't need nothing. You just need your body, but that doesn't sell, right? It's not sexy. You can't package that.
Yeah, it's really.
I mean,
people
truthfully,
get mad at me when I talk like that because I'm ruining all the fun. They come running up to me, Mike. Did you hear about? Literally, I mean the shit. I love doing a plank, but when at some point people are like, no, that's the secret, Mike. Oh my God, I can't believe that's why I was 250 pounds overweight because I wasn't doing planks. And then I'm like, that's not true, and then they just don't even like, well, why ruin it for me? Or Dr. Oz, he's got green acai berries that grow into a beanstalk.
No, green coffee beans.
Green coffee beans, and people are buying it up. And if I ruin it for them and tell them these are just fake, they get mad at me, Steve.
Well, it's interesting too because, let's go to nutrition for a second, which is, it's fraught with all sorts of emotional stuff. People love to argue about diet much like they like to argue about religion.
Sure do.
I mean, I've heard people literally almost get into fist fights over this stuff. I mean, it's just freaking food, all right?
Sure.
But let's take some of these so-called superfoods. Let's look at the acai berry, for example. People they sell this acai as if it's,
But it's rare.
I mean, if you look at the nutrition of acai and compare it to an American plum, it's virtually the same thing. Watch out. Yeah, let's go down this. But yeah, I mean, like regular plums are just as nutritious as any acai berry that's grown from South America. And then they package it and freeze it and they mix it with sugar. It's just like, there's nothing particularly special about it.
Again, this is going to be the party pooper podcast. So
Yeah.
they're going to be like, what are you talking about? This no, but
It could be considered party pooper, or it could also be considered like, wow, stop stressing about this stuff because in reality there's no secrets, there's no superfoods, there's no such thing as superfoods. Usually these so-called, really highly nutritional foods, they also have a lot of chemical irritants in it too. Amines, salicylates.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people have like a really bad food sensitivity reaction to all this stuff. They find it very irritating to their system. They can't figure out, like, wow, this is supposed to be the superfood. How comes I feel so crappy every time I eat it? Well, there's a lot of chemical irritants in a lot of these foods also that
I'm going to predict what your recommendation is. If they're feeling crappy, they feel like they need to buy superfoods, they should probably fast.
Yeah, probably should. Just drink
consider.
water for a couple of days and just rest and allow the body to clean out and all of this stuff. Well, that's one of the things I love about New York. We're basically on an island here. People don't even know, that don't travel much. It's like we're on one big giant island surrounded by these two awesome rivers, man. It's beautiful if you like the water and all that. I think there's a natural tendency for humans to gravitate towards water.
I do too. Being from actually Hoboken, right there.
Oh, you're from over there?
Yeah, right. That's the Wiley building.
So you got all the benefits of New York without actually having to live in the city.
Yes. However, both places fairly rough when growing up, but the water was never considered. I would, if the stigma, I would jump right in this water, Steve, swim around in the summers. It's a great travesty that we polluted our rivers so badly.
Yeah, that's a shame.
You can't swim, or you can probably swim. They're saying it's pretty clean.
They cleaned it up a bit.
Oh yeah, it's so clean that the piers started falling apart a couple years ago. And they were like, why are they falling apart? And it was because these worms were able to grow again.
Ah, all right. Well, where you have worms, you
Have some life.
have some life.
And I saw a dead fish the other day, and that was probably the first fish I've ever seen.
Yeah,
So it was dead,
we'll get
but
it, man.
it's a couple more steps.
Yeah, but it's a fish.